This week, people living in many care homes across the UK will be able to rate how good or bad they think they are.
However, the cost of paying the home's fees can result in many families struggling financially, and in some cases, unnecessarily. Here's Anita.
Across the UK, there are 400,000 adults who live in nursing and care homes. Around 40% of people in care homes in England have to pay for some or all of their care costs. The thing is, some of them shouldn't have to pay anything whatsoever. David Claret from Watford was 65 years old when he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. By April 2010, his condition was so bad that he had to be moved into a nursing home.
Before he was ill, David was a very friendly, outgoing, sociable chatterbox. He just loved life and he loved living. I was devastated when I found out it was probably Alzheimer's, because I knew what was going to happen. We had plans for our future and for our retirement, and there wasn't going to be any future. It wasn't going to be a pleasant future. It was going to be very upsetting and very sad.
In England and Wales, before someone goes into residential care, an assessment can be made of their needs. If they're judged to be medical, then the NHS can pick up the costs. However, if their primary needs are not seen to be medical, then the local authority will do a means test before it decides how much, if anything, it will contribute. The NHS assessment also takes into account ongoing care requirements, but despite David's Alzheimer's and the constant care he needed, the NHS decided they wouldn't cover the fees.
I was horrified. I had hoped that with all David's problems that he would have been covered by the NHS. His primary needs got worse and worse. He started having seizures, he had to be hoisted everywhere. He just went from bad to worse.
And how much were you having to pay?
I was paying £1,100 a week.
£1,100 a week?
Yeah, £1,100 a week.
And how did you afford that?
From our savings, from when we retired. We were using it up very quickly, and David would have been horrified.
In December 2010, David passed away. By that time, the couple had paid around £30,000 in fees for the nursing home. Susan still believed her husband's needs had been wrongly assessed, so she went to a solicitor.
2 years later, the NHS have now said that their assessment was wrong, and they will now be refunding all the care fees that she's paid.
Do you think people understand that they can go through this appeal process?
No, it's a very complicated area, and people aren't aware that potentially the NHS could pay the full cost of their care.
Is it worth it, Lisa?
My firm currently represents about 3,000 people, and we've been successful in recovering over £25 million in wrongly paid care fees for about 350 clients. The process is long, it is complex, and it does take some time, and sadly families are waiting 2 to 3 years for right decisions to be made.
For Susan, the refund has helped to give her peace of mind that she'll be comfortable in her retirement.
David would be absolutely over the moon. He was a fighter. He was a terrier, as he called himself. And he wouldn't have given up. If the boot had been on the other foot and it had been me, he would have fought. I know he would have done. It's been the most stressful thing I think that's ever happened to me, and I'm just so relieved it's all over now.
If you want to try and claim back care home fees, there is a deadline coming up at the end of this month.
Yeah, however, this deadline only applies to England.